Taylor Swift sat alone at the corner table of Manhattan's most exclusive restaurant, staring at her phone. Travis Kelce was nowhere to be found on their first anniversary. But where he actually was that night would lead to the biggest fight of their relationship and the most honest conversation they'd ever have. It was March 23rd, 2024. Taylor Swift sat at the corner table of Medusa, Mediterranean, one of Manhattan's most intimate and exclusive restaurants, staring at the single candle flickering between the empty chair across from her and the untouched bottle of wine the server had opened 30 minutes ago. Their first anniversary, the night they met exactly 1 year ago at that charity gala in New York, when Travis had made her laugh so hard she'd snorted champagne through her nose. Her phone sat face up on the white tablecloth, silent. She'd sent 3 texts over the past hour. The first at 7:15 when she'd arrived excited and dressed in the emerald green dress he'd once told her made her eyes look like the ocean. "Hey baby, I'm here early. Can't wait to see you." The second at 7:45 when concern started creeping in. "Everything okay? Traffic in the city is crazy tonight. No rush." The third at 8:17 when the waiter had asked for the 4th time if she wanted to order. "Travis, I'm getting worried. Please just let me know you're okay." Now it was 8:37 and Taylor was fighting back tears. The waiter approached again. "Miss Swift, would you like me to hold the table a bit longer, or would you prefer to order?" Taylor felt something crack inside her chest. A hairline fracture that threatened to split wide open. I think she started, her voice barely above a whisper. "I think I'd like to go home, actually." "Of course. Let me get your coat." As she stood up, gathering her clutch, her phone finally buzzed. But when she looked at the screen, it wasn't Travis. It was Brittany Mahomes. "Hey girl, just saw Travis at Arrowhead. He's helping Patrick with some surprise thing for the team. Thought you should know he's okay." But here's the thing nobody tells you about heartbreak when you're Taylor Swift. Everything went numb. Taylor read the message 3 times, each word landing like a physical blow. Travis was at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, 900 miles away from their anniversary dinner in New York. He wasn't stuck in traffic. He wasn't an accident. He hadn't lost his phone or gotten caught up in an emergency. He'd simply forgotten their anniversary. Forgotten her. The Uber ride back to her apartment was a blur. Taylor sat in the back seat, feeling more alone than she'd felt in years. You can't just go home and cry into your pillow like a normal person. Because your boyfriend is Travis Kelce, and somewhere in your mind, you know there has to be an explanation. But knowing there might be an explanation doesn't stop the hurt. Doesn't stop the feeling of sitting alone in that restaurant, watching the minutes tick by, wondering if you matter enough to remember. Taylor let herself into her apartment, kicked off her heels, and immediately called Tree Payne, her publicist and closest confidant. Tree answered on the first ring. "Tay, what's wrong?" "He forgot," Taylor said. And then she was crying. Really crying in a way she hadn't let herself cry in months. "Our anniversary. I was sitting in that restaurant for over an hour. Tree, and he just forgot." "Oh, honey." Trey's voice was soft with sympathy. "Where is he?" "Kansas City at the stadium. Brittany texted me." It was a long pause. "Taylor, I'm sure there's an explanation." "That's what everyone's going to say," Taylor said bitterly. "That's what I'm supposed to think. But you know what? Sometimes the explanation doesn't matter. Sometimes the fact that he could forget it all is the problem." "What do you want to do?" "I don't know. I don't know anything right now except that I need to talk to him, and I'm terrified of what I'm going to say." Meanwhile, in Kansas City, Travis Kelce was having what he thought was one of the best days of his life. Completely unaware that his entire relationship was crumbling 900 miles away. He'd spent the afternoon at Arrowhead Stadium filming a surprise video for Taylor. He'd arranged for a private screening room, gathered messages from Taylor's favorite players and coaches. The video was going to be his anniversary gift, something meaningful and personal. He'd been so focused on making it perfect that he'd completely lost track of time. It wasn't until Patrick's wife, Brittany, pulled him aside at around 8:45 that reality came crashing down. "Travis," she said carefully, "when exactly are you supposed to meet Taylor?" Travis checked his watch. "Oh, not until later. We're celebrating tomorrow." "Actually, since I had this thing tonight." The blood drained from Travis's face. No, that's tomorrow night." Brittany pulled out her phone and showed him Taylor's Instagram story. It was the 23rd, and Taylor had been waiting for him at a restaurant in Manhattan while he'd been in Kansas City, completely oblivious. "Oh my God," Travis whispered, already pulling out his phone. "Oh my God, what did I do?" 30 minutes later, Travis reached her. She answered on the first ring, her voice flat and distant in a way that scared him more than anger would have. "Hey Taylor, baby, I am so sorry. I thought our anniversary was tomorrow. I had the date wrong on my phone. I was here making this whole video for you, and I completely lost track of time. I know you were making something, Brittany told me." "How does that make this better, Travis?" I'm not trying to make it better. I messed up. I'm getting on the next flight to New York right now." "Don't," Taylor said quietly. "Don't what?" "Don't come here. Not tonight. Taylor, please. I need to see you. I need to explain." Travis could hear her breathing shaky and uneven, like she was trying not to cry. "You want to explain how you forgot our anniversary? How I sat alone in that restaurant for over an hour watching everyone else celebrate their relationships, while mine apparently doesn't matter enough to remember?" "It's not like that." "And what is it like? Enlighten me, because from where I'm sitting, it looks like I'm not a priority. That video I was making was for you. Every second of today was about showing you how much you mean to me. But you weren't showing me," Taylor said, her voice cracking. "You were showing some future version of me, some version that was going to see a video and think it was romantic. But the real me, the one who got dressed up and sat alone and felt like an idiot, that version of me doesn't care about the video, Travis. That version cares that you weren't there." The silence stretched between them, heavy with everything they weren't saying. Finally, Travis spoke, his voice thick with emotion. "You're right. You're absolutely right. I got so caught up in trying to create this perfect moment that I completely missed the actual moment. I missed you, and there's no excuse for that. I know. I know that now. Taylor, please tell me how to fix this." "I don't know if you can fix this tonight," Taylor whispered. "I need some time to think about us, about whether I can trust you to show up when it matters." Those words hit Travis like a punch to the gut because he understood exactly what she was saying. This wasn't just about a missed dinner. It was about every fear Taylor had ever had about relationships, about being forgotten, about not being someone's first choice. And he just confirmed every single one of those fears. "Okay," he said finally. "Okay, take your time. But Taylor, I'm not giving up on us." The line went quiet for so long that Travis thought she'd hung up. Then so softly he almost missed it. Taylor said, "I'll call you tomorrow." Travis stood in the empty stadium and felt his world falling apart. Patrick found him there. "She thinks I don't care." Travis said she thinks she's not my priority. "Are you going to let her keep thinking that?" "No, but I don't know how to fix this, Pat. How do I show her that she's the most important thing in my life when I just prove the opposite?" Patrick sat down beside him. "You start by being honest. Not about your intentions, about your impact. You hurt her tonight, man. Even though you didn't mean to, you hurt her. And the only way forward is to acknowledge that and do better." That night, Taylor lay in bed replaying every moment of their relationship. Had there been other times Travis had forgotten? Or was this just a terrible mistake by someone who loved her but got overwhelmed? The thing that scared her most was the realization that she'd been so ready to believe she'd been forgotten. Her phone buzzed around midnight. Travis had sent her a voice message. Against her better judgment, she listened. "Taylor," his voice came through rough and exhausted and completely raw. "I can't sleep knowing you're hurting because of me. So, if I'm just going to say this, even though you asked for time, and I'm sorry if it's too much, but I need you to hear it. You are not forgettable. You're the first thing I think about when I wake up. You're the person I call when something good happens. And tonight, I failed you. Not because I don't love you, but because I got so caught up in trying to show my love in this big dramatic way that I forgot the most important thing is just showing up, being present, being there." My mom called me after Brittany told her what happened. She said, "The best gifts are the ones where you just show up with your whole heart." I don't know how to make this right, Taylor, but I'm asking you, begging you to let me try, because losing you would break me in ways I don't think I could come back from. I love you. I'm so sorry. I love you. But wait, what happened next will change everything you thought you knew about their relationship. Taylor played the message 3 times, crying harder each time because she could hear it in his voice, the genuine remorse, the fear, the love, and she realized something important. Travis hadn't forgotten because she didn't matter. He'd gotten the date wrong while trying to do something meaningful for her. It was a mistake, a painful, hurtful mistake, but not a malicious one. The question was whether she was brave enough to forgive him, whether she was strong enough to believe that one mistake didn't define their entire relationship. She fell asleep without answering. exhausted from crying and thinking and feeling everything all at once. The next morning, Taylor woke up to discover that Travis had indeed caught a red-eye flight to New York. He was sitting on her doorstep when she opened her door at 7 a.m. to get her morning coffee delivery, looking like he hadn't slept at all, holding a single sunflower. Her favorite flower, not roses, not some elaborate bouquet. Just one sunflower, simple and perfect. "I know you said not to come," he said quietly, standing up slowly like he was afraid she might slam the door. "But I couldn't stay away. Not when I knew you were hurting." "You look terrible," Taylor said. And despite everything, she felt her heart squeeze at the sight of him, rumpled and exhausted and clearly devastated. "I feel terrible. Taylor, can I come in, please?" She hesitated, then stepped aside. Travis walked in slowly, taking in her apartment like he was seeing it for the first time, even though he'd been here hundreds of times before. He set the sunflower down on her kitchen counter and turned to face her. "I wrote you a letter on the plane," he said, pulling out a folded piece of paper from his jacket pocket. "But now that I'm here, I don't think I need it because the truth is simple. I messed up. I hurt you. And I'm sorry. Not sorry that you're upset or sorry that it didn't work out how I planned. I'm sorry that I made you feel forgotten. That I made you sit alone in that restaurant questioning whether you matter to me. Because you do, Taylor. You matter more than football, more than my career, more than any surprise video or perfect plan. You matter because you're you. And I'm so sorry I made you doubt that." Taylor felt tears streaming down her face again. But these were different. These weren't the tears of someone who felt abandoned. These were the tears of someone who was scared and hurt and desperately wanted to believe things could be okay. "I was so ready to believe you'd forgotten me," she whispered. "So prepared for it. And that scares me, Travis. But I'm still waiting for this to fall apart." Travis took a careful step toward her. "Then let me prove to you that it won't. Not with grand gestures or elaborate plans, with everyday moments, with showing up, with choosing you every single day in ways that matter." Taylor looked at him, really looked at him, at the man who had flown through the night to sit on her doorstep, who was holding himself together by a thread, who was asking for forgiveness without making excuses. "I need you to understand something," she said. "Finally, I've been left behind before. I've been the person people forget about when something more important comes along, and I can't go through that again." "You won't," Travis said firmly. "I swear to you. Taylor, you won't because there is nothing more important than you. And I'm going to prove it. Not just today, but every day. Can you forgive me?" Taylor took a shaky breath. "I could forgive you, but I need you to promise me something. Anything. Promise me that we'll communicate better. That if you're planning something, you'll tell me. That we won't lose each other in the space between intentions and actions." "I promise," Travis said, closing the distance between them and pulling her into his arms. She melted into him, feeling the tension of the past 12 hours finally start to ease. They stood there in her kitchen holding each other as the morning light filtered through the windows. Two people who'd almost lost each other learning to hold on tighter. And here's what nobody expected. Later that day, they'd reschedule their anniversary dinner. They'd laugh about the miscommunication while acknowledging the hurt underneath it. They'd watch the video Travis had made, and Taylor would cry at the beautiful messages from the Chiefs family, understanding finally what he'd been trying to do. But the real anniversary gift wasn't the video or the rescheduled dinner. It was the conversation they had afterward, sitting on her couch, talking honestly about fears and priorities and what it really meant to show up for each other. It was Travis admitting that sometimes he got so focused on making things perfect that he lost sight of what was actually important. It was Taylor admitting that she needed to work on trusting that she was worth remembering. It was both of them promising to do better, to communicate more, to choose each other actively instead of assuming love was enough on its own. 6 months later, when Travis would propose to Taylor on a quiet beach in Rhode Island, he'd reference this night. He'd tell her that the worst mistake of his life taught him the most important lesson, that love isn't about grand gestures or perfect plans. It's about showing up, being present, and choosing someone every single day, especially on the days when it's hard. And Taylor would say yes, not because Travis was perfect, but because he'd proven he was willing to own his mistakes, to grow from them, and to fight for their relationship, even when it would have been easier to walk away. What do you think about Taylor and Travis's painful but necessary conversation? Have you ever experienced a moment where a mistake forced you to have a deeper, more honest discussion about what really matters in a relationship. Sometimes the hardest moments are the ones that teach us the most about love, about forgiveness, and about choosing each other, even when it's difficult. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments about how communication and showing up can make or break a relationship. And subscribe for more untold stories about your favorite celebrities. Because sometimes the most beautiful love stories are the ones where people mess up, own it, and come back stronger than.